Okay, I believe we're back. So I have my calculator, I have my sheet of words. I will probably need to make a new sheet soon because I've done a lot of these segments. So it might be pretty easy for a repeat word to come up, but I'll just jump right into it. So the first number we are going to use is 16. That was used already, so I'm going to do another one. 23, which is wall outlet. We'll get another number, which is 4, which is vanquish. And the third number is 12, which is all knowing. So, we have some sort of omniscient plug of great power that will vanquish something. So we can start, we can get a wall going, get some three-dimensional situation in here, get the floorboards, some sort of dojo bamboo wooden flooring here. I'm not sure why there's a small segment there. And so wall outlets obviously are on the wall. So we have our two slits there. Now, a normal wall outlet in America is two slits and a ground plug. A simple way that a wall outlet could vanquish somebody could simply be by removing this ground plug from existence so that we go back a step in our age of technology and everyone gets shocked. This wouldn't be the most sophisticated way of vanquishing your enemy. So we are going to be a little more creative today. So if this is an all-knowing outlet, maybe this outlet would know what has been plugged into it, would know. So going back on our concept of big data from last week, maybe this outlet knows what has been plugged into it, when that appliance has been plugged into, when that appliance was plugged into it in the past, and then we can assume that this all-knowing radiation of intelligence is encompassing slightly more than the normal inputs of an outlet. So this could also encompass maybe surroundings. Maybe this outlet with its slits actually has a face, even though we generally see it as somewhat of a face due to the psychological concept that the brain tends to put the pieces of a face together and fill in the gaps. But we will assume that this is actually a face in this case. An all-knowing outlet would normally not necessarily have to be malicious entity, but due to the fact that our word in the our verb word was vanquish, I would imagine that this outlet is somewhat angry. Perhaps it feels somewhat used or drained, simply because people constantly put things into the outlet and never give energy back to the outlet. So this outlet is constantly putting out electricity, and we got some electricity, and it is never getting any electricity back. Now this is a problem. This outlet feels that it has not been properly represented in a fair fashion. Its civil rights have been stomped on by the society that we live in. So now it is time to seek revenge. Now, a good plan of action would be to begin small. So let's say we had a small animal, perhaps a dog. If we had the family pet walking by, then we could have perhaps this Maybe the family pet doesn't have a duck face. Perhaps this outlet could send some sort of electricity pulse outwards to take out its first enemy. Now, maybe this pet is not necessarily an enemy of the outlet due to the fact that the pets themselves do not use the electricity and themselves are somewhat trapped, but it could see this pet as a good martyr for the oncoming overtake of society, because it is releasing this animal from its humanly cage of domestication. So now that the outlet has conquered its first task, it can move on to larger, more sophisticated beings. Perhaps if someone were to rush to the aid of this dog when it is being zapped by this pulse, the outlet could use some sort of frequency to contact the cell phone in their pocket and cause them to explode from within. This seems somewhat far-fetched and is a little bit out of the realm of possibility considering the assets of a normal cell phone, but at the least, the phone could at least vibrate and force the person closer to the outlet. That is a hand. I am not drawing anything fairly quickly right now. So, scratching the idea of the explosion, this cell phone could be vibrating and causing confusion in the human when attending to the dog here, and cause the person to possibly slip forward into the range where their cranium could be zapped in a similar manner to its canine brethren. And so you can see that this is a whole chain of events. So first you go dog, then you go human, then you go car, and then perhaps house, and it's just an exponential curve from there. You will actually find that it is interesting, the derivative of an exponential curve is actually an exponential curve, y prime. That is not on the screen, but it's an interesting fact given our topic of the day. And conversely, the integral of that exponential curve is another exponential curve. So with this exponential growth situation, it is only, I'd say, we'd give it 2 days, and then the outlet would be moving on to a more interstellar approach of vengeance and vanquishing its enemies. So with this small outlet feeling unused, or feeling used, not unused, it could, due to its connection throughout the house and the power lines, connect with other outlets and create a idea of group polarization, which we have talked about on the stream. Because if like-minded entities are in the same confines, or at least in communication without any other outside communication, due to the fact that most people don't talk wall outlet, this idea would cause the other outlets to group together into a mob mentality, using their network of electrical cables to slowly conquer the galaxy and the universe. So I think we have a finished picture here, although there are many words. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, although I have written about 10 of them, I would say. So I think we will give this one a nice save. What was that? That was wall outlet vanquish, and it was all knowing. And also, an all knowing wall outlet would have no problem understanding this concept of psychology and using it to its advantage. So that's the general idea that we're going with. I want to thank you guys for watching. I do see that we did have a decent audience watching today. So I will be cutting up the video for the convenience of later watching. But in the meantime, I will be streaming on Wednesday again. Hopefully, I will have an update to the AI, adding the additions that I talked about in the start. But until then, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on Wednesday.